This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks, with an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.
Well, hello, everybody. What's happening? It's late night. Of course, I am BMR, and I got to do something right quick. That's weird, everybody. Hang on just a second. Got a little difficulty here. I don't know what the deal is. Well, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. So BMR here. It's late night. I got a great show for you tonight. You know, it's kind of a cool show because I just got buzzed in from Krista. She's at a haunted location, and yeah, she's got activity. I'll be bringing her up. I got Brandi with me tonight, and I've got a special guest joining us, Mr. Brown Dwarf. Thanks for Mr. Dwarf for coming on. Bigfoot Dwarf, I should say. Thanks really quick. Shout out to T-Bone, who got the night started great with 5 BMR members, 5 new pirates. Thanks, T-Bone. Don't forget the super chat is open. Great way to support what we do around here. I'm not going to get into the advertising. Excuse me. The Eventbrite link for our conference is the 19th and the 20th. That is posted up top, pinned up top, I should say. And yeah, let's get this started because Krista was really excited. And so, yeah, I'm going to bring up Brandi. I'm going to bring up Krista.
Hey.
And I'm going to bring up Mr. Dwarf as well. Hey, everybody.
Good evening, panel. Good evening, ladies.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Brown Dwarf, I got to say, Bigfoot Dwarf, I love the coloring. Beautiful background. I like the headgear.
Yeah.
I like the shirt, the bandana.
Appreciate it, bro. You look lovely as always. Got the flavorful bandanas going as usual. The ladies looking lovely. We're feeling good tonight, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, when you look good, Mr. Dwarf, you feel good. That's
right. That's what it's about. Everyone should be
about.
Feeling like that and sharing those vibes. Yeah, the background, it's a little claymation thing that YouTube had a feature for a minute there where we were able to post AI images through YouTube, but they took it off recently. But I stuck with this one. It's a little redwood background with a little UFO. There's a Bigfoot somewhere back there.
Yeah, I see the top of the head. Hell, that Bigfoot, yeah, it parallels your body, as you say, like we're out in the woods when they parallel you.
Yeah, so I'm
stalking you out in the forest.
I'm stepping my game up and trying to get to y'all's level of streaming and all the cool. That commercial for the event is off the hook.
Oh yeah,
whoever did that and best.
Well, I gotta give Texas props. He does some things good once in a while. Yeah, he did a good job with that. And, well, Brown Dwarf, you're looking good and always beautiful as Brandi. Always ravishing as Krista. What's up, girls?
A lot.
I know there's a lot.
For me, nothing.
Well, Brandi, hey, listen, Brandi's always got something going on. Her life goes on with something fascinating always happening. Good, bad, or in between. Brandi's got it going on. And Krista.
Yes.
Krista was so excitable backstage. Oh my God, you guys, we got activity.
Well, that's why the show started late. It was my fault because I was telling you all what we had, and
no, we didn't really start that late.
It literally just happened.
So yeah, well, why don't we just start the show a little differently? It's a little different show. I never have anybody but you guys on it. Thanks to Bigfoot Dwarf for popping on in. We're gonna go for our normal show, but we're gonna start it though, Krista. I don't know how much time you got on your phone or how the internet's gonna be. So where are you? What's going on? And what can you tell us?
So I am at Emmaus Village in Marthasville, Missouri. Very haunted location. It's Brandi and our team is here. We're doing a overnight investigation with attendees, the whole 9 yards. And so there is a gentleman here that brought a drone, and it's a thermal, and it's hooked up to the TV inside here, right? So we're sitting there watching, and we saw a heat signature. And then he radioed in and said that he's got noises outside. So we went outside. The coyotes were going crazy. I mean, it was definitely coyotes. You could definitely tell that. However, there was something like hooting, and it wasn't an owl. I mean, I've heard lots of hoot owls out there. This was definitely human-like hooting outside here. So of course we followed it, and there was Jeremiah, who we had on our show the other night. He was with us, and Frankie and Madison, and we all walked up there, and yeah. So we'll see. I'm gonna go back. I was like, oh man, I gotta go. I got a show to do. So here I am.
Yeah.
Go.
You also said
right when the good stuff happened. So
yeah, so the good stuff was happening. Your equipment was starting to go off.
We didn't have no equipment. It was our ears. It was some kind of creature out there. I have no idea.
Outside.
Oh,
Outside.
yeah.
It wasn't ghost.
Got you. I thought you said backstage, so my bad on that one. But yeah.
No ghost.
Is this plane known for cryptid activity, Krista?
Not until me and Brandi and Terry picked up something.
Yeah.
Brandi, you tell that story.
Oh, well, we had just gotten, finished with one of the buildings, which we had major activity in that building. Well, there is a breezeway that connects this building to the next one. Now, at one point it was enclosed, but over time the windows have broken. So, you could definitely feel the night air out there, and it was like 30 something degrees outside. It was very cold going through there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we're walking through there, and just at that point, I'm pulling off, my equipment, my earphones, and I'm shutting down my audio, all this other kind of stuff. And then we heard this audible, I don't know if you would call it a howl, a growl, a guttural type sound that came through.
Mm-hmm.
And automatically, first of all, I'm cussing myself going, I just turned off my audio. That's me out there, but Terry Mosby, a really good friend of ours, she had her audio still on and caught this. Now, Krista has sent this off to a lot of people who do go out and search for cryptids and things like that. And they honestly said that this doesn't seem like anything they've
the main
heard.
one that a lot of people know that I sent it to is Hellbent Holler. Joe Doyle listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's definitely something with a huge pair of lungs, and it doesn't sound like it's anything native.
So
and then we were hearing that wonky stuff out here tonight. So guess what? When I get done with this show, I'm going back outside.
Hey,
right. So did you happen to see the thermal image?
Yeah, you could just see a heat signature. You couldn't really tell. He got a heat signature, and then he messaged that he had noise going on out there. So I run outside. You know where the TV's kept in that room, Brandi? Then so I just went outside. I just seen it, but I didn't get a good look to see size or
the shape. Yeah, dang it. Well, you'll have to fill us in on that.
It is recorded, so we can go back and look.
I'm super excited for you, Krista. It's good to see people out in the field, doing their thing. I'm all about that. And to top it off, y'all using thermal droning out there. That's high tech stuff. I don't know how to fly drones. I do have a small one. I want to eventually get to that point. But recently, when we were out in Bluff Creek, a friend of ours, he's a drone pilot, and he's got one of those thermal drones. Those things run almost 10K. Like you're looking at 7,000.
Yeah.
So it's no toy. And we were also using, I believe it was someone's pad as the monitor. Like you're using a TV as the monitor, right? So you could chill out inside and watch the screen. And we were all huddled up and checking out the thermal. It was so much fun. And great tool if you could afford it. Anyone out there with a thermal drone, let us know. I'd love to hang out.
For sure. And I did I've recorded some videos here that I'm going to put up for our members only, and some of it is of the drone footage on the TV and stuff, so people get to see.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, I'll put up for our members only.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And you know, BD brings up a point. Drones are fascinating. You ever see like when you see all these cool videos when people do the video background
Mhm.
flying over the forest or wherever it is, right? And then you got to spend some money on those. They're really good equipment. I would be scared, knowing me, and this is just knowing me. I'd probably, pilot that thing, and I would probably crash it somewhere or
Me
lose.
too. Me
I
too.
mean,
Yeah.
but I
And
get
you would fly.
yeah, but from what I
Mhm.
understand, it's really not as complicated as we may think if you've never done it. That's what I've been told. It's kind of like playing a
Mhm.
video game.
Mm.
Now, good old BMR hasn't played a video game since Sega Genesis was out. If you guys remember
I'm
that.
with you.
Genesis.
You guys remember that at all? I know girls didn't play as much as guys.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like mine is on the lines of like Atari or something,
Oh, well,
like
that's
back in the day.
right.
I
That's
thought
right
Krista-
there. That's right there.
I thought Krista was gonna say Nintendo, but let's take it back to Atari.
Yeah, we go way
Yeah.
back.
Way back to
We're
Atari.
old.
Yeah.
I'm old.
I did have
Yeah.
an
Well,
Atari.
or
Yeah,
what was that one? The tennis game Pong or whatever that
Pong,
was.
yeah.
Pong.
Atari.
yeah.
Yeah.
In Atari, you had your tennis racket was like a rectangle fin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thing that
You
went
just
up and
kind of
down.
go up and down your screen.
Yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
even know if you had a person. That was it, and bonging back
Hey.
and forth.
That kept us busy for hours.
The funny thing is, you would play it for hours,
Yeah.
and now they've got these.
Right. I mean,
these
well,
games. Go ahead. Go ahead,
I was
Brandi.
going to say, well, drones are very, they're useful, not only when you're looking for something mysterious in the woods, of course, but it's good to find your hikers too. We were out on a hike one night and they were using the thermal drone to find us to figure out where we were so they could keep tabs,
Well,
and
the
then
guy
when we
that's
hear
here,
it come by and
the
we
guy,
just
the guy
wave.
that's here, yeah, the guy that's here, he helps people find missing pets, so that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So we would just wave at the camera so they knew it was us. So they could pinpoint us. So if they're out further and looking around, they knew exactly where we were if they found something else. So, I mean, it is a really good tool to use if you can fly one and if you can afford one.
Right.
I think what I would do, because I think you get a cheap one. I think I see something advertised like for $39.99, and it's like doesn't take pictures or nothing or anything crazy like that. Just to get the start out cheap until you get the hand of it. So you're able to do it, I should say. But then again, if you upgrade, it's probably a whole different ball of wax.
Well, you know
Right.
what? You know what, Rob? Okay, listen. I've got one of those cheap ones. I'll
Yeah.
bring it, to the conference in September.
Yeah.
And then we can get out there and fly. If it's not too windy, we'll get out there and we'll figure out how it works.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Have you ever? Yeah, that'd be fun.
Mine's in the box. I've never used it.
Oh,
So
wow.
we can get out there and play with it.
And I'm nodding my head.
Hopefully we
Yes.
won't crash it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's usually what happens with those little ones. I've had a couple of them, and I always talk about I buy two of things because of this reason. And yes, I have crashed both of them, and luckily they were cheap. They were about $100, so there went $200. But I got another two recently, and there's the real small compact ones, and they're really squirrely when you fly them. And I even so speaking of scenes and drones, I was hanging with Alex, and he does the drone. He's a pilot, and he was mentioning that those little ones are kind of weird, and so I've still been practicing, and I still got one in the box here. I'm looking right at it. And so I think it's a good thing to do to practice, at least with those, even though you won't get the type of footage or maybe flight that you're looking for, but it'll give you like a little warm up to things. But I got little cheap ones for now and haven't recorded with them. And any chance I get, I do try to play with them to get more familiar. So yeah, keep it open that box, Brandi.
Yeah. Brandi, this is like, for me, this is turning into a week event because, it's the 19th and 20th. And then, go home the 21st. So I'm like, well, I'm going to come down Thursday. But now it's looking more like Wednesday. Yeah. I mean, there's so much to do. I can't do all this stuff in 2 days, you guys.
Right.
Well, we could try to cram it in. I mean, I'm figuring it's only going to take us like 20 to 30 minutes to crash the one I have. So that won't take long.
That won't take, no, that won't take long.
And Rob, really quick, I want to rewind because I have an idea of what you were going to say earlier about the video games going from like Pong to where we're at now.
Yeah.
We've been witnessing, we've been living this, so within that time, and maybe, it's been quite a while, but when you really look at it, it's not that long. And
well, not really. No, it's not been that long.
Yeah, and the video games now are mind blowing. I don't even mess with them. Recently, I don't know. I've been live streaming at the shop, and my brother got an old Pac-Man game that's got a bunch of other little games, and it's the actual arcade game, not the big one, but it's an arcade one, and it's super cool to to play with those things. And I love those old video games. But
absolutely, I love them too.
Yeah,
again, excuse me, on the time. Yeah, it seems like time is just flying. Go on, Rob. Sorry.
No, you're fine, man. You can speak all you want, interrupt me all you want. I just really briefly on the video game things. Me and my brother, we had like Keith said, we had this in television one, and we were big sports fans. We still are today. So we would draft our own players, and we'd have guys. And in television, there was like four or five players, so it got a little bit bigger. And we would play games. I'd be the Lions, he'd be the Bears. We'd have all these players. We just really got into it. We kept stats and stuff, And then, boy, when I tell you what came out, and then when the Xbox came out, and you got the whole team on the field, they look lifelike. It looks, you can go watch an Xbox game on TV of a football game, and it looks like you're watching an NFL game. That I wish I would have had as a kid, because I would not have left the house. It's like you got the real team there. You can see their faces. It's just so lifelike. Which
I could see you like John Madden probably yelling at the TV set.
They do play-by-play. Whoever's coaching this team made a bad play call, and they're talking about you, the user of the game. It's crazy,
right? I mean, I have a PS4, and that's as far as I could get. I mean, that PS5 is way out of my price range, and I'm just like, well, I'll just deal with what I have.
Yeah.
See, I'm lucky. I'm fortunate though, because like my son is still into video games, so he gets like the latest and greatest thing, and then he gives my kids the old one. It's not even that old.
The old one.
Yeah.
Last year's.
Yeah.
And,
well, probably like 3 months ago. It's 3 months old.
Yeah. Has anyone seen there's a new Bigfoot game out there? Anyone seen it?
Not seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not sure the name of it, but yeah, you're an actual Sasquatch, and depending on the weather, I think you could pick different types. You could, have the white coat or black, and then you go out and do squatchy things. You go lift boulders and logs and stuff. It's pretty cool. I think I might get into that. I'm not big on video games, but that had my interest, and which makes me kind of think like, throwing some $1 million ideas out there. Someone might want to start like a Dogman game or a Cryptid game of some sort. And there is the old Rampage. You remember that one? It had and people have been mentioning lately. It's got the reptilian, the right, and then the werewolf, the Dogman, and, King Kong, Bigfoot. So it had those back in the day. I thought that was interesting, fun game.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of like this place going out here and doing crazy stuff, so you guys stay tuned to this place, because not only like are we doing ghost events here, like the public can come in and ghost hunt with us. However, we have something planned in the late spring out here to do the cryptid thing. And I think Tex and Monica are coming up for it. And then Miguel Ramirez from Sasquatch Theory is going to join us. And then our team here, Haunted Souls. And we're going to do a little, it's, you see what we got tonight. And it's like every time we come here.
How many acres did he say is out there that we have?
So this place used to have like 1,000 acres. And I think now it has like 300.
Yes, 300 acres, and they're still acquiring more property. So right now we have 300 acres to hike and look at and to explore. And so it is going to be exciting. It is going to be exciting, as long as we don't have any tornadoes or things.
Oh yeah,
no tornadoes.
Yeah, tornadoes terrify me. I've seen one, but it was not in the state of Michigan. I was in Illinois, and you guys being that tornado belt, that season's coming. Texas, Missouri, the Midwest, they don't really get my state for whatever the reason. We get small little ones, but still, when you see them, it's kind of wow. But anyway.
Yeah, I have my whole theory on this, and this is for another day, another topic. But I do believe that the whole area for tornadoes is shifting, and it's encompassing a bigger area than what it used to. Tornado Alley has actually widened, I think. So, yeah, that's something we need to be aware of. But that's another day, another topic.
And for those that are just coming into the Late Show and be Brown Dwarf, I know I've seen you here a couple times on the Late Show. It's kind of different than what we do during the week. I'm talking cryptids, paranormal, same as the girls all week long. We have guests on, and we don't have typically not a guest. Brown Dwarf, kind of a guest, special friend of the show coming on to help us out. And a little later, I want to talk to you, Brown, about some things you've been encountering. But we always start the show with what I typically do for this. It's a little different. It's more laid back, more relaxed. And I find like 4 or 5 weird articles, and I call it the bizarre news. And I'll just go read through the snippets. Sometimes just pictures, and I'll read what it is. It doesn't take long. And then we just kind of roundtable it and give our thoughts and opinions on that. So, Mr. Dwarf, I'll include you in our little discussion on these snippets. Some will take longer than others.
Right
and,
on.
They're not really some of these aren't as bizarre as my last week's show, but they're different and they're weird. So with that being said,
really quick, I got to say something. So my phone, when I hopped on here, I was at 85%.
Yes.
And right now, and I haven't been on here, 30 minutes?
No.
Right now, I am at 31%.
Maybe energy.
Wow.
From what you experienced just not too long ago.
I just happened to look, and I'm like, whoa. So if I disappear, that's why.
Well, yeah. Plug that phone in somewhere. But anyways, yeah. Well, we'll find that will be why if you disappear.
Yeah, I have my phone charger.
60% loss in 28 minutes.
And I've done shows before on my phone, and I keep my phone the whole time.
You should fully charged phone should last about 90 minutes on a show.
Yeah, something sucking it down.
Yeah.
Are you able to switch to low battery mode by chance? Maybe
you know what?
Save you
Dwarf, I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out one of these days. I've learned to do it, and so yeah, I'm still learning my gadgets.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's in your settings under battery saving mode.
Well, thank you to Keith. And
I was going to say, there's a couple questions, and I did star a question too. I think T-Bone had a question for Bigfoot Dwarf.
I think
I did star it for whenever you're ready for questions. I did star it.
I will do that. Let me get this bizarre news knocked out here, and we'll come back. We'll just circle back around. So something different here. I'm going to I got to get out of this for just a second, everybody, and I've got to do one little. I got to make this little move here. And so I got so much stuff to scroll through here. So I got to really condense this. And I know I say it all the time. It's under video.
Yes, every show.
I know. Okay, Brandi, here we go. Yes, there you have it. It is bizarre news. Finally got that music dubbed in. Thanks to Brent Thomas did that for me. So anyway, bizarre news. I find some bizarre articles throughout the week, kind of put them together, and we just kind of discuss them a little bit. Some are more bizarre than others, and some really aren't all that bizarre. And this first one is about everybody has psychic abilities. There was a controversial new study put out by T.K. Randall, March 7th of 2025. It goes on to say, are we inherently psychic? A new study has suggested that our innate psychic abilities may be getting suppressed by the brain. The question whether or not psychic abilities exist has remained a point of contention for years. While concrete evidence of abilities such as telepathy, telekinesis, and clairvoyance continues to remain elusive, some people are absolutely convinced that such abilities really do exist. There have been scientific studies into this phenomenon. Enter Dr. Morris Friedman, a Canadian researcher who has headed up a recent study which alleges to have discovered the part of the brain responsible for inhibiting psychic abilities. This is, of course, quite a claim, given that the existence of such abilities remains unproven. According to the study, all humans may possess innate psychic abilities. To investigate further, Dr. Friedman and colleagues use a technique known as repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation to temporarily alter the brain activity of volunteers using magnetic pulses. This, according to the study, helped the team identify an area of the brain responsible for inhibiting our abilities and even enabled the volunteers to influence a random number generator. In other words, they were spitting out numbers that was thought by the doctors, from what I ascertained from that. Okay. These findings are potentially transformative for the way we view interactions between the brain and seemingly random events, says Dr. Friedman. But could this really be proof that psychic abilities are the real deal? Suffice to say, research of this nature is typically met with a great deal of skepticism from the scientific community at large. And that's where we go with that. And I kind of found that interesting, you guys. I certainly believe we all have inherently innate psychic abilities. I think, we all have been in the store, standing in line where you got the feeling that someone's looking at you. We all have that. And you look and they're staring you down. And then, of course, I've felt a lot of things you guys know about. So according to this study and this transformative method, what's your guys' thoughts? Do you think that everybody's psychic, or do you think it's something that's learned? Whoever wants to chime in, I'm not going to single out anybody.
I think we are.
I think everybody has it.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, Brandi. You can go ahead. I'm good.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I agree. I think everyone has these abilities, but yeah, not everyone's tapped into it. And I do feel that there might be some sort of conspiracy out there where humanity's abilities have been somehow messed with, and we got to remember and practice how to do these things. And yeah, some people are better at it, and some people are maybe more or able to do it more, these different things. But yeah, I think everyone's able to do it for sure.
I think they are. Krista, you're on pause.
Well,
Brandi, go ahead.
Go, Brandi. Yeah, I was going to say.
I see.
I was just going to say the same thing. And talking about the experiment of using these things that they were using, I guess. I mean, we kind of do that with our group. We, Terry Mosby has the God's helmet or the ghost helmet or whatever you would like to call it. And that's actually pumping those EMFs into your brain at a beat. So it's putting you into a trance, but yet using that frequency. to kind of open that up so you can see things and hear things that you wouldn't normally be able to do, just by sitting there. And I think we already do that. So do I believe that you can open the third eye is basically what I'm saying. If you could open somebody's third eye with this God's helmet, yeah, I do. Paranormal Paul is a very good example of somebody who that happened to. He was kind of getting into the ghost thing, investigating things like that, but then he used this the God's helmet and had this profound experience with it, and it's just kind of opened him right up to it. And you could tell by talking to him that things are different, that he's seeing a lot more, he's hearing a lot more, things that he never used to pay attention to are now happening. So yeah, we're already doing these experiments. That's what I'm saying. We're already doing them.
We're doing them and don't even realize we're doing them, since an
Yeah.
early age.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into my story. I found this interesting for two reasons. Number one, you knew about the kid that I thought was a bad kid
Mhm.
who ended up, and I
Mhm.
told everybody
Tell
that
me,
he was.
Grandma. Yeah.
Brown door shaking his head. You heard the story before. I'm not going to get into all that. And yeah, the years went on and on and on. And I just felt, I told all my friends, please just stay. My parents were mad at me for calling the kid evil. Then we find out when I get out of
What?
college, the kid killed his grandmother and was in prison when I got out of college. And I knew he was evil from the age of 5 or 6. And for a 5 or 6-year-old to tell your mom and dad, I think Jimmy Boy is evil. And they looked at me like, where'd you come up with that word from already, And, then I got in that contact with him when I got in that tussle. Remember, I was playing on the ball field with him,
Mhm.
and then I pushed him away because my brain just went berserk, like, just get away.
Right.
I felt this energy, can't explain it, but this energy that came over me that was not normal, and I said, this kid's something up with him. And sure enough, that was our senior year of high school. And then 4 years later, I went off to college, came home, 22 years old, and boom, he was in prison. And I knew it all along. I didn't know what he was up to,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he was
I
up
know
to something,
there's people that give you the ick.
you know.
You
Mhm.
just know it. You're just like, you just need to get away from it. You could just meet them, say hello, talk to them for like 3 minutes, and then you're like, no, thank you, go. They give you that ick. And
Mhm.
I believe that's what you felt, Rob. I don't know exactly what you call it, but it's having that feeling that they're not good people.
Yeah, And again, not to talk about me all night long, and just really quickly, the other great thing that I could do is when I own my bar, I never read a resume. All the resumes or applications I read, those people end up getting fired. They stole from me. The people that I look at any paper and I just had a two-minute conversation, I knew if they'd work or not. And 95% of all worked out. The ones that I had someone else hire, or if I read their application and said, that sounds good, bring them in, they all ended up quitting or they ended up being thieves.
Oh,
No
wow.
kidding. You know?
Yeah, that's a trip. That's a wild story there, Rob. And I have one similar. I
Yeah.
didn't know the guy too well, but yeah, I went junior high with him, and he was in some special classes. We knew something was different about him, and he ended up, yeah, doing the same thing to his mom out
Oh,
here, Glendale, California. I've been trying to look for that case. I want to see if that came out on the paper. I'm sure it came out on the paper somewhere. And actually, I want to. Yeah, I'll be able to figure it out. Hopefully, one of these days, and I'll share that with you. But yeah, it's strange. You do feel certain vibes from people, and I've actually been
Yeah.
around people that have done stuff like that eventually in their life, and it's like, yeah, you could like Rob says, it's like you sense something about it,
Mhm.
and yes, we got to definitely pay attention to those feelings.
yeah, we
Yep.
do. And, the first clue, and I'll be done with this, is that I told you guys a story. I used to drive BMX bikes at this trail in the back of the creek where I always hang out at. And my friends and I were driving through the creek, and we came across this sighting of these skinned cats who were hung from the trees in the creek. Scared us. We all terrified. We all went home, talked to mom and dad. Hey, dude in the background. And these skinned poor cats right now is maybe 12, 13 now at the time, And do you know, when I got a little bit older, I put 2 and 2 together that the back of that creek area, if you go up the hill, the back fence line led to where Jimmy used to live as a kid. I think that maybe he had something to do with that.
Yeah, well, they say that about serial killers is that they usually start off with animals and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
And
But they say,
yes, salute to Josh Turner there. I jumped on his live the other night. He was out driving late night out in Texas, taking us to some of his areas there. I was like, right on. This is what I'm talking about. People getting out there doing the boots on the ground. So,
that's right.
Cheers to him for doing that. I had some fun there.
Yep.
Getting out doing some investigations is always cool. It's always fun. It's always fun too. You can add to what we all do around here, right?
The Bigfoot Dwarf, if you ever make it over to Missouri way, especially in September, you're welcome to come to the conference.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And thank you.
Throwing that out there.
Tex did mention something about that. And so, yeah, if I could get my butt over there somehow, and even if I get there and I can't get in, if I'm there, I will make my way in somehow. Maybe I'll sneak under Tex's arm and make him look like he's.
We'll let you in. I promise. I assure you, we'll let you in.
Right. Then he'll look like, if I sneak under his arm, he'll look like he's got one of those old trolls in a headlock with dreadlocks.
Yeah. Right. This brings up a point too, since we're on the subject of psychics and mediums. I don't think I've ever really run this across Brandi or Krista or Brandi. They're both interchangeable. What's you guys' thoughts, seriously, though? And before people listening, so I don't want to get any flack from people in the chat or people that are going to watch later, when it comes to the psychic medium, I know there's legitimate ones out there, and I know that there are hoaxers out there. That's for sure.
Yep.
When I started doing this, I had my encounter in 2018. It wasn't right around till about 2022 where I started making contacts, doing the shows. There was I seen 4 psychics, 4 proclaimed mediums. 2 were referred to me from guests of our show, and the other 2 that I randomly found. All 4 of them had different evaluations about my Bigfoot encounter. 2 of them were totally boom. I just dismissed them as BS, right? The other 2, which were actually came recommended, one was pretty damn good because they brought up something that no one should know about. And the other person was kind of in the ballpark as well. So I guess my question to you guys is this. It seems like to me, you know how we always talk about, well, not we don't, because we don't play that game, but there are hoaxers out there putting up hoax videos all the time about Bigfoot, Dogman, this, that, and the other. And that's just not, I'm not interested in that. But it seems to me with this psychic medium, again, folks, I'm not disparaging on you. I appreciate that good ones are out there, but I think there's more fakes out there than people that are faking stuff when it comes to cryptids. That's just my gut opinion. So to me, it's hard for a person that really wants the answers to get the answers.
I personally think so. Not all 2 psychics get the same exact messages. You're going to go to the same one psychic, and then they'll tell you something different than the previous one. It doesn't mean that either one of them are wrong. It's the way that they're getting their information. And a lot of people might not understand. It may not make sense to them at that time, but then it might down the road. So keep that in mind too. It doesn't mean that they're giving you a bad reading.
Yeah.
It's just not making sense right now.
Well, I agree with that, Krista. And when I sat down, I evaluated these 4 that interviewed me or talked to me. Well, they didn't charge me, which was cool. Two that I dismissed right off the bat, they were asking leading questions, and I kind of caught on. They were trying to get information out of me so they could maybe spin a narrative, right?
Yeah.
But the other 2 people I spoke with, very minimal questions they asked me.
Yeah.
The questions weren't leading. They didn't ask about, my life. They didn't ask about, has anyone been sick, in the last 6 months? Those dumb questions. So I thought they were pretty legit. And again, they're not every psychic reads the same. I get that, Krista. They get a different vibe probably. But I always wondered about that because it seems like there's a million out there. And for people that are into that and want to talk to a medium, I don't know where you would vet one, I guess.
I'm gonna head out of here just because they're getting a lot of outdoor activity up here.
If they,
And
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna go do some investigating, and
Hey,
I'll make some videos and I'll post them on Blondes and Booze.
Yeah,
Okay.
Krista, go for it. You're only on 7 days a
Sorry, I
week.
don't mean to cut out, but like they're coming and telling me like I need to come out.
If I was you, I would do it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So have a good show, guys.
Yep.
And I'll see everybody later.
Be safe.
Thanks.
So anyway, Brandi, your final thought on that? Like, you kind of agree with Krista?
I'm funny about psychic mediums. I have a lot of friends who are psychic mediums and have proven themselves. Some are famous and have been on TV. I'm just super weird. I don't let anybody who knows me reads me. I just won't let it happen. If we're hanging out, don't you dare try to tell me anything. I don't want to hear it from you. I'm just like, no, I don't. But there are a couple that stand out to me that they did tell me things that they couldn't have possibly known. One in particular that's been on our show a few times. He was, doing a couple readings on our show, and he was like, I'm having this tall male come through. He's young, blah, 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 died tragically, this, that, and the other. Started describing the way this person looked. And everything that he said matched up with my nephew. Every bit of it is what he said. And then Krista's like, you hold on, stop. You're not talking to anybody in chat. You're talking to Brandi. You're reading her is what you're getting. And he just kept going on and telling me things and silly little stuff that only my nephew would do, just weird things, He was on the spectrum, but he was very high functioning, that sort of thing. And he would just do little weird things. And he kept telling me about them. And it's stuff like that. When somebody tells you those little details, not the big ones, if you know anything about me, you could tell me the big ones. It's the little details. But there are a lot of people who claim that they're psychic mediums, and I take whatever they say with a grain of salt, because nothing makes sense. Nothing's ever come true. And I believe there's a lot of them out there, but then again, take how many cryptid people or hoaxers that have been exposed lately, or paranormal investigators that have been investigated or in proved to be hoaxers who are on TV. You know what I mean? Let me see. That was the Ghost Hunters crew with the Grant Wilson thing, and they're even after Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagan saying that he did some things that were just hoaxes. And, it's so hard to say who's telling the truth and who's not nowadays. You know what I mean? So I can't really say if there's more in the psychic medium world as there is in the cryptid world. There's just a lot of people just not telling the exact or whole truth, or exaggerating,
Yeah, I guess
Agreed.
that's fair.
And when it comes to psychic mediums, who comes to mind, some of you might remember, Call Me Now, Miss Cleo. Anyone remember Cleo? Was it Cleo? Miss
Yes, the
Cleo?
1-800 number
Oh
where
yeah,
you spent $3 a minute.
Oh gosh, yes. So that comes to mind a lot. So I laugh. But
I fell prey to one of those scams when I was a kid. I called, and my mom and dad beat my butt.
Well, does
oh gosh.
anybody remember Sylvia Brown? She
Yeah,
used to be on the Montel Williams show
I
all the
remember.
Okay.
time. Do you remember her?
Okay.
She
I'm
had
sure I
the
see.
blonde
Oh, I
hair kind
know.
of
I
in a
remember
bob.
the name. Yeah, I kind of remember her.
I,
Mhm.
yeah, she would, but a lot of the things that she had said and done and wrote about, a lot of people have commented that she was spot on. So, I mean, you can take it or leave it with that, she was very convincing, should I say. A lot of them are great actresses, you know what I mean? Or actors. They're just good at what
Yeah.
they do. They can read
Well,
body
again,
language.
yeah, and
They can
again,
read facial expressions. They can read a lot of
they
things
are
without
very.
you saying a word.
Yes, and that's why I'm going to stop there because I don't want to have any conflicting people giving me comments. Rob, this, Rob, bad.
He's gonna
And we,
dodge that one.
yeah, I'm just going to slip into something else in bizarre news.
Yeah,
Well,
you're gonna get me started. I
Yeah,
was already.
I could talk on this, but people would like that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, because we all know we're sitting here, we're Bigfoot people. We
Yeah,
know there's hoaxers out there. We know
absolutely.
they're doing this
Um,
AI stuff. We know it's the same thing in any community. Everybody knows that.
yeah,
So
I
it's
do
not
want to
that we're
say
downing one community versus the other. They're out there everywhere.
no. Yeah,
No,
they're all
after
over the place.
yeah, there. It doesn't matter what walk. It don't even have to be cryptids, paranormal, ghosts. It could be business. It could
Politicians.
be
Okay, we're
Oh
not
yeah.
even going to go there either. So
The
there.
politicians are just as they're probably the worst.
But going back to what Brandi said a little earlier, like she was mentioning the little things, so that those little
Yes.
things help her, like that gives her a little bit of validation or maybe full validation of things.
Mhm.
And so I feel like we all have our BS meter, and yeah, maybe some of our gauges are different. But I feel like I have a pretty good one, and like you, Rob, I could sense and read people and stuff like that, and try to make better choices who I'm around and everything. And but yeah, I feel like for me there's like little things, whether you're psychic or bigfooter or whatever, dog manner or whatever, you're gonna be in it. And if you're in tune with these things, whatever it is that you're doing, you're gonna be able to do some stuff. I think there's gonna, and that's what I look for too, is them to be able to do either little things or big things. But you should be able to do something, whether bring back some sort of data, information, or know things, or have things happen around you, uh, whether you're in the field or whatever. But yeah, capture things on
Mhm.
video, or you're
Mhm.
able to bring some of this
Yeah.
phenomena back. It's maybe not full answers to everything. It might be just some sort of anomaly or something like that. But yeah, I look for things like that in people.
Absolutely. It's kind of like I keep telling everybody, you know, all the good information that comes in, it's just like a little puzzle piece. And we're just trying to put them all together. We're not there yet. We don't even know what the puzzle's supposed to look like, but hey, we're trying to figure it out.
Right. Tex, bring yourself up whenever you're ready. When you're ready over there. Here's an Tex.
Hey,
This good to see you, but man, I'm moving on to
Salute,
the second
Tex.
one. Good to see
Okay,
you as
second
always.
one. Let's go with
This is
bizarre news.
Goblin killer on the run in Zimbabwe.
What?
Goblin killer on the run in Zimbabwe.
oh, cool.
Okay.
March 9th of last year, because today's only 8th. This is last year. It's not as current as
Almost 1 year to the day.
yeah.
Okay.
So I got a rendition of this. I think it was AI generated by the person who put out this article from the alleged description. So I'll show that when I'm done reading this. Two elderly women were poisoned in Zimbabwe after being accused of using goblins to harm local children.
Ooh.
The bizarre series of events, yes, they threw in the word bizarre, I didn't edit this, took place in the village of Manjizi, where 83-year-old Jerzy Mutero and 73-year-old Enrita Bombay were blamed for a child falling ill. Shaman Maxwell Pyra was called upon to perform a cleansing ceremony because it was believed that the women had been summoning goblins to inflict harm on the child. During the ceremony, the two women were given holy water to drink, which turned out to be lethal poison. I'm not making this up. The two elderly women drank the liquid but collapsed almost immediately. Said the Midlands of the Zimbabwe Police Force, Police Chief Inspector Emmanuel Mahako, they were put on a Scotch cart but died on the way to the hospital. I'm assuming a Scotch cart is like a gurney, I guess. Pyra is now Pyra, the shaman, alleged shaman, of course, is on the run from the authorities who want him in connection with the women's deaths. And I just looked up something. We don't talk a lot on goblins. That might be a nice subject down the road. And I just kind of Googled goblin in brief. It says here, a goblin is an ugly, grotesque humanoid or spirit resembling a dwarf, which can be either evil and malicious or in some cases mischievous, like smaller gnomes of the forest or land. And I got the rendition, which I got to tell you, and this is kind of creepy. These are the alleged goblins. Yeah, I got to tell you something. I don't know what to make of that image. Now, of course, I think that's got to be an image AI generated, I guess.
The first thing that popped into my head?
Creature from the Black Lagoon face, but yeah.
The first thing that popped into my head was Lord of the Rings, where they go, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Kind of looks like a tick. That first one kind of looks like a tick.
Full of blood.
And here's the thing too, I kind of omitted it or skipped over it. And these alleged goblins are only like 3.5 or 4 foot tall. Can you imagine those little that creepy, that little? Yeah, I mean, come on. I think a puck wedgie. I'd rather be confronted with that. I think,
or an
I don't know. And them puck wedgies are nasty.
They're mean little bees.
Nasty.
Just like the alpha switch.
You remember that movie Critters?
Yes.
Check this out. In elementary school, we had a substitute teacher, and it was the sheriff in Critters.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. I got to find out who he is, but I remember that from elementary. So a little Critters story there. But yeah, getting back into the goblins there, I'm not, you think about it, goblins, like, but yeah, there's a few cases actually that STM has touched on. And I'm sure all of you are familiar with the Hopkinsville goblins case, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, trip out on this. My mom is from Venezuela, and Venezuela, it's a lot. We won't get into that. That's a whole other topic there. But anyway, and I have been out there and had some little people experience. And my cousin took me up the mountain, and we heard some weird things. We could get into that some other time as well. But a year before the Hopkinsville goblin case, in Caracas, Venezuela, there was also a similar case where I believe it was some craft that landed, and also very similar beings to the Hopkinsville goblins case were reported in Venezuela a year before. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting there, and something, touching on mom's homeland there. And so I'll be taking a look at that. But yeah, STM, touched on it, and I think they do a good job of touching on some pretty good cases. So,
well, what it sounds like to me, it has kind of like American witch trials written all over that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like somebody accused them, and they just did away with them before, anybody knew the truth. Whether they were guilty or not, they went through the trials and ended up gone anyway. That's what it sounds like to me. Is like somebody just jumped the gun and didn't allow these women to say one way or the other, and just said, here, drink the holy water. They think they're drinking holy water and they're going to be fine because, it's holy water. They're going to be fine. But somebody jumped the gun and switched it with poison. So it sounds like kind of like, I don't know, trial by
Well,
fire kind of.
I don't think you have to, especially over in that part of the world, that train of thought, I think, still, being accused of witchcraft, like you said, it's pretty much a death sentence.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, they thought that they were going to prove something by them drinking the holy water, but yet it's poison.
Yeah. It's like the whole
just
if
like
the witch float. If you dunk her and she floats, she's a witch.
Well, actually, if you
that's it.
If you chain her ankles and throw her in the lake, if she doesn't drown, now we kill her because she's a witch. Well, they all
Yes. There you go.
Not a one made it.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. It's just kind of like
you're a witch. You're gone.
I mean, you were accused. You're okay. So you're guilty. You were accused. So you're guilty.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
Yeah, you will kind of move on from that, and I can only imagine what goes on in some of these countries, especially Zimbabwe. I mean, it's just there's no law. I don't think. I mean, in certain sections of Africa. I'm not versed on Africa. Something I should probably look into and study it a little more. Here's something. I had a picture of something here, you guys. I know all of us. I don't know about brown dwarf, Bigfoot dwarf now. I'm so used to saying I've known brown dwarf.
I do it too.
Years.
Y'all call me whatever.
Both
of them work. I'm still both.
I call him dwarf.
There you go, Tex.
Okay, I know the photos. Yeah, they're okay. So I got a photo, which I'm going to show after I give this, because this is very recent. This was March 6th now that I found this, 2025. And it's the first, and this is, I think everybody's interested in the Loch Ness Monster, whether you believe in it or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got, Ken Gerhard made me buy his book to come on his show a couple of years ago. Tex, you remember that? I've yet to read it. It's all about Nessie. Anyway, that's when, anyways, I didn't know any better. So now we're friends, so it's cool. He's a good guy. He will be at our conference, by the way.
He will be.
So
cool.
This is supposedly the first, the latest picture of Nessie. Okay. And the story goes on. It's Nessie's sighting season again. A new image has emerged showing what appears to be a hump just under the surface of the water. After a quiet couple of months, this week, which actually was this past week, has been seen, and it seems to reveal the first new photo of the Loch Ness Monster. And this was courtesy of the Loch Ness Center in Inverness. And I believe that would be Scotland, right? Mm-hmm. Details remain rather thin on the ground. Some of these writers, I gotta rewrite some of these, whatever that means. So we're not sure where exactly the loch is, where the picture was taken in the loch, but it appears to show a dark mass or hump, blah, 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 like I just said, submerged below the water. Efforts are now underway to analyze the photograph and determine what it could be. We've had numerous observations over the years, but this recent sighting has been particularly captivating, said the center's general manager, Naji Ishta. The conditions of the day of this sighting were absolutely perfect. This could very well be our first significant sighting of the year, further fueling the mystery surrounding the Loch Ness Monster and its most famous resident in Scotland. As always, we are committed to solving the mystery of Nessie once and for all. Our previous collaborations allowed us to advance our research efforts significantly, and this potential sighting is a reminder that the mystery of the Loch Ness Monster is far from being solved. We look to uncover the truth, says this institution. And I did look them up, and this is an institution. They invest their time, they explore, and they do actually research the Loch Ness Monster. So that's cool because I did kind of look that up. So here's the picture. And again, I'm out of. First of all, there's a red circle. You know.
Oh gosh.
You know.
Yeah. Bring
It's not even Sunday.
Yeah,
the red
I
circle
know.
back
I should have
and the
saved it
arrow.
for you. I should have gave this to you and Randy.
And is it blurry,
Yeah.
Rob?
Well, I tell you what, it's not blurry. It's not blurry at
We-
all. But I know what my opinion is. I'm going to reserve it for last. Oh gosh, oh boy.
Yeah, we do red circle Sundays on Truth or Tinfoil.
Right on.
Oh, okay. This
So I'm thinking this is gonna fall right in there.
Yeah, you can use this.
Yeah.
You can use this, Brandi. Yeah, it don't matter.
As soon as
All right.
So
Okay.
See
You're
the circle.
you're looking at the red circle. To me, it looks like just darker waves and what's surrounding it. That's okay. I was going to go last. I just had to say it because I think that's totally tinfoil myself. So take a quick look, and then I'll pull it down, and we'll go around the room. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think you've seen enough of that. Let's start with our guest, Mr. Bigfoot Dwarf.
Should I have changed hats too?
yes, yes.
Brandy's got a giant Hershey kiss on her head there.
I know. I'm protecting my brain cells. Tex has got his hat on sideways.
Tex, I haven't seen that hat on him. Yeah, no, that it's a tough one. I don't know. You could call pareidolia, parallax, all the above. That was a tough one. But at least we had the red circle to help us.
Because you
Mm-hmm.
never would have saw it, would you?
No.
You never would have saw it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Bring the red circles back. It helps, folks.
No.
Because they blew that up for number one, and they've cropped that picture
Yeah,
for number one. It'd have been one thing if they took it from a distance, if we could see more of a dark water, like a mass or something in the water, or if we could have seen anything but just that.
Well,
That doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, dude, not a blob squatch, but a lock squatch.
It's a lock squatch.
A lock
Yes.
squatch.
Absolutely. That's how I feel it.
Because if you look at, there's a couple of waves like right in front to the right of it that look the same damn way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, and the reason I had to look up that research firm, because if they're a legitimate research firm, I wouldn't even bother with that. But they sure enough are in existence. They do research, and I don't care if they must be 6 months doing this. I would not want to put a bad mark on my firm. And I got to tell you really quickly, Brandi, I will say of all the things, we're all very open-minded. As Tex says, I believe in everything. If there's anything out there in this world that I kind of doubt exists, I'm going to unfortunately say I don't know if Nessie exists.
I'm not even going to say that. I'm not even going to say that because, we talked about this before about in the ocean, how they're discovering a species of fish that are supposed to have been extinct, but they're here.
Well, we do do a lot of fish talk on this show, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, we do that. And it's possible. I mean,
I'm not saying it's not possible.
Yeah, but about what you read in that article is what bothered me the most. Because I do really read to what people caption when they put these pictures out, these red circles. And it said the picture of the year to start off the year. So that kind of led me to believe, so this is not that great. I mean, if it was a great picture, they would have said the best picture in decades, or, but it said the year.
Yeah,
So I
and
said,
which,
oh, this is going to be a
we're
doozy.
into our third month of the new year.
Yeah. So I said, oh, this is going to be a doozy because it's the best picture of the year. And it's March. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Text.
I think it's pareidolia.
Well, I just think that the waves were enhanced and
I
brought.
Yeah.
think we just had a better Nessie sighting with Brandi than we did at that picture. I'm just
Here it
Look.
comes. There she is. Yes.
And it just goes back and forth. Here she goes, and she's going to disappear. And okay, here we are. She's here. Okay.
All right.
And then she's alive and well at my house.
Yeah, again, all these, some of these, everybody, like that Saturday night, some is serious stuff and some is just kind of, okay, whatever stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
it's some red circles that get me because, we do this and we've been doing and Randy and I have been doing this every Sunday for over a year. So it's just kind of like
which
you
is
get
crazy,
used
by
to,
the way.
or you start really honing in on what these people are saying about the photo versus what the photo is really about. Because you're like, nah, I don't think so.
well, absolutely. And here's one that I kind of wish Jason was here because this is right up Jason's alley. However, though, we're going to test BD's metal because I know
Okay.
that he looks up in the air. Look, he has his eyes in the sky all the time, and I just gotta scroll through it really quick.
Boss is here.
Yeah,
Boss is back.
she's had a bunch of stuff going on.
Krista, you missed it. We had a Nessie sighting and
We had a
everything.
Nessie sighting.
Yeah.
Us too.
Us too.
Okay.
Not
So
Nessie.
All right.
before I go, okay, I'm gonna go on with this, and we'll see if Krista has anything to report because I know she's got activity out there. So here we go. Conspiracy theorist claims demons are responsible for UFO sightings. May 13th, 2024. Are UFOs spiritual in nature? Again, that's why I mentioned Jason because he wrote a book on it, really. Bart Seabrill, who was punched in the face by astronaut Buzz Aldrin after he heckled him over the moon landing, goes on to say there seems to be a rise in people assigning religious significance to the UFO phenomenon in recent years. While some have come to see these objects as angelic in nature, others, such as Bart, as he's talking third person, I guess, believe in the complete opposite. He was speaking recently on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, and Seabrill suggested that demonic entities are piloting UFOs and that they have been deliberately masquerading as extraterrestrial visitors as part of some malevolent and mysterious plan to dominate mankind. Top two UFO researchers said UFOs are real. Of course, they don't give the names. Number one, he said, that's number one. Number two, they're not from outer space. And number three, they're demonic. Then he goes on. The Bible talks about fallen angels, blah, 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 interbreeding with humans. We know that. Talked about Genesis 6, the creating of the Nephilim race, who, of course, were the men of the renown, right? Renowned world leaders. Seabrill is currently no stranger to the controversy as he was the man who did punch Buzz Aldrin back in 2002. And this is kind of funny. I had to throw this in here. The bust-up happened when he openly harassed Aldrin outside the Lux Hotel in Beverly Hills on the authenticity of the moon landing, and even called Buzz Aldrin a thief, a liar, and a coward right to his face. Yeah. Buzz Aldrin later claimed that he had been acting in self-defense and no charges were filed by Mr. Aldrin.
He got smacked because he deserved it.
Oof.
Well, yeah, maybe he was lying because we never went to the moon.
No.
I just had to say that. Get a rise out of you.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of talks of that lately.
That's always a great topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it always seems to be the people who don't know much about anything. Okay. It's always those that say everything is demonic. Everything is demonic. Dogman's demonic, Bigfoot's demonic, the aliens are demonic, Nessie is demonic. If they don't understand it, they call it demonic. That's just period, flat, boom. That's what it is.
As Rob can attest to, they're not demons because I did not summon them.
No, Tex did not summon demons, for the record.
I didn't summon demons. Krista didn't summon demons. That's the last thing we want to do, especially what we do.
No, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Here's the thing. Tex did not summon any demons.
I did not.
He was in a small closet trying to conjure them up, but failed. So that's different.
Oh, Lord.
That's just me. I'm sorry, but it's people who lack any type of knowledge beyond what is tangible to them. If they can't see it and feel it, well, it's I guess it's demonic. Everything's demonic. Rebuke it and it will go away. Just rebuke it and it'll go away. I'm like, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. So,
Krista?
Yep.
You look like you're about to bust with excitement over there.
It's pretty crazy, Brandi. I got to tell you, you missed a hell of a night.
No,
probably did.
Chris, yeah.
And I mean, yes, there's ghost activity. So the church, Brandi knows the church, the middle window, so Jeremy and Jay went up there because they thought it was humans, the living. And it wasn't. The church was totally empty. And then I was standing in front of the asylum with several others, and we seen something peek through that window. So that was kind of cool looking up.
The downstairs window?
No, at the church on top of the hill.
Oh, at the church. See, because nobody's allowed in the church. We leave the church alone. It's still in use. It's being used for stuff, so we don't mess with that.
Except for tonight.
We're not supposed to be messing with that.
Anyway, and also we're getting howls.
Oh.
We're getting howls. The same recording we got, Brandi?
Yeah.
We got howls.
Exciting.
Well, they do have Great Pyrenees out there that just kind of hang out. And they keep the coyotes, away from the main part of the property. And they don't howl like that. When I was talking about that howl we got earlier with the guttural sound to it, they don't howl like that. I've never heard a dog in all of my years howl like that.
So Braden got another howl out here. He recorded it. We got two sound exactly the same because I played ours. They sound the same.
Were you guys in the same spot?
No. So ours came from behind back here. This one came from across the road, that side.
Ooh.
I got to tell you, Krista, I really appreciate your loyalty to the BMR show.
I got to do my due diligence. I got to
away from all this crazy stuff going on. But I like your little reports. You're like the little reporter tonight. In and out, what's going on?
Yeah. So, Tex, are you still planning on coming up here for that weekend?
I want to.
He's like, I want to.
I want to.
You might make him pout if he can't.
I can't believe how much activity, that kind of activity we're getting up here tonight.
Yeah, that seems crazy. Well, it's unproven ground. I mean, we know that there's reports in the area of dogman activity. We know there's Bigfoot up there and running around. So we do know that, but in that particular area, there hasn't been any investigations or anything going on. So, I mean, this is just really we're starting from square one with this location.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the owners of this place, so they live across where this last house were recorded from. They live across the road. They hear that often.
Oh. Have they seen anything or had anything go missing or tore up or anything?
I haven't got that far yet, man. I'm just
Oh.
Well, like I said, they've got those Great Pyrenees that are on property. They stay on property. They just hang out around the property. They know where they get fed, and that's where they stay. But they do keep the coyotes away. They do their
Yeah.
job.
Mhm.
And they seem to be okay, but I haven't been able to notice or been out there long enough to notice if they venture off far into the woods.
Mhm.
That'll tell you a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Fox.
And I do
Appreciate
want to
that.
mention that breed of dog is my favorite, and I do plan on getting a couple or a few of those when the time is right.
Mhm.
I have lived with when I first moved up on the hill up north. The landowner there had one of those. He had a Great Pyrenees and a healer, but the Pyrenees, it's just amazing how they patrol the
They are.
property.
Mhm.
And they're really good with the kids, and they could take a wolf out, and yeah, it's just amazing. So yeah, they're definitely on my list to get those dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very, very loyal, very loyal.
They look like
But like I
big
said,
white
they know who
German.
feeds them.
They look like
They're
big white
beautiful
German.
dogs.
They look like big white Saint Bernards is what they look.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yes.
Mhm.
And they do have
But
black ones also, in the mix black and white ones.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
Well, I know that you
I've
got
seen
the
a black one, but not a mixed black and
well-
white one. I've not seen one like that. That's probably beautiful.
well, I know they have what the Newfoundlands, which are a solid black,
Yeah.
Yes.
look a lot like them. But,
Yeah.
which are gorgeous dogs.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So
Amy says healers are badass dogs too at Bigfoot Dwarf. I have a healer, and she's a pain in my rear.
She's a pain in my rear. Well,
This-
isn't a Newfoundland, isn't it more wiry haired? I'm trying to
Mm.
remember.
No, they're
No,
big and fluffy.
They're not as
and,
fluffy,
no, they're big. They look like big black Saint Bernards.
do they? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
thinking. I'm thinking of the Irish Wolfhound. My bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another dog that I want is an Irish Wolfhound. Tallest dog breed there is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, so Bigfoot dwarf. I
But,
tried to
I mean,
enunciate that.
But
Go ahead.
in our investigation, I mean, we need to probably
flagging.
watch those. We need to watch the
She's
dogs.
delayed.
Yeah. Brandy's lagging.
Yeah, Brandy's definitely lagging.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to continue on, Brandy.
Oh,
I'm giving
no,
you the
what I
floor.
was saying to Krista
giving-
and everyone else is that we need to pay attention to the dogs and find out where they go.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
She's right though. She's right.
Brandy's always right.
Mhm.
So is Krista. Mr. Dwarf.
Yo,
I kind of know the takes from Brandy and Krista text regarding the demons in regards to UFOs and aliens. I'd like to hear your take on that because you do have your eyes in the skies. And then after, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about what you've got going on lately.
yeah. So I have heard that before put out there, by certain people, certain groups that that these things could be demonic. And it's interesting because you get it in the cryptid field also, with the Bigfoot and the dog man. And I do feel certain things do have like a negative vibe to it. And I don't know if it's an actual demon. The other night we're looking at the definition of demon, and I can't tell you off the bat right now what it said word for word, but I do think there is, we're in a world of duality. So there's a good, bad, hot, cold, right, left. good, so there's going to be good entities and bad ones, and it could go in any field. So if we're talking about these craft, I think that yeah, it's possible maybe there is beings flying inside of these things, or these things are the actual being. You could go a lot of different directions with it, but I do feel there is maybe some of these things that could possibly be demonic, and then you're gonna have the good ones too. Maybe I don't know, do devils have wings and stuff? We hear about angels having wings, and could angels be some of these objects that we're seeing? People claim that yeah, that some of these things that we're seeing in the skies could be some sort of angelic being of some sort. But yeah, I just think there's so many variations of UFOs. They're just objects we can't identify. So it could be anything. And so yeah, there's the possibility of something being demonic and flying and us being able to see it. I do think is possible. Do I think they're all demonic? No.
Yeah. Agreed. I think there are
Yeah.
demons, but they're few and far between,
Well, we have the
Yep.
discussion about Mothman.
Mhm.
Because you have stories of saying, that the Mothman actually warned somebody of a disaster, and then you have them showing up at the time of a disaster, and I don't know what to think of Mothman. I mean, I could think of it as a harbinger is basically what I think it is, but I mean, it's up to you and what you believe, I guess.
Yeah, so some describe it as an omen as well, right? Like you
Right.
mentioned, that it's showing up before these events, and it's almost like a warning of some
Mhm.
sort. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
very strange.
Brandi, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's so funny you bring up the Mothman, because my last item of news tonight is regarding around something I think is similar. And I do have a picture of this.
You'll have
Witnesses
to
report.
mute Krista.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, turn it back
I'm
on.
here. Just turn my camera off for a few.
Oh, okay. All right, go
Sure.
ahead.
Oh, I gotta mute. Okay. Jeez. I was thinking.
I turned the camera off because I'm in here with a bunch of people right now. So,
Yes.
and I turned the mic off. So I was cold. I had to come warm up a minute.
Very nice. Now we got it together. No static. Witness
And I
report.
can't hear
midnight-
now. So I'm going to go back and freeze.
Okay.
If you want to, I'll put that out.
Witnesses.
So then
Can someone? I can't mute her for some reason.
Yeah. We just hear all kinds of people coming from her mic.
Okay, there she got it. Witness report: midnight encounter with the Owlman on the road in Illinois. You guys, this was just put out March 8th of 2025. There's a generation that AI generated depiction that the person made of this, or what this couple saw. Blah blah blah. A peculiar encounter with a very unusual creature left one couple desperate for answers. One recent episode of the revived Unsolved Mysteries TV show on Netflix details the phenomenon of people encountering a strange winged humanoid at locations all across the United States. Now, one such incident has been submitted into this publication, which is Beyond the Realm on .com website, which has spent years collecting real life stories of cryptozoological encounters. According to this particular report, a couple had been driving home in Rolling Meadows, Illinois, June of 2022, after midnight, when they came across something they can't quite explain. And one of the lady in this quote, as we got close to home, a very large winged creature landed on the road on the opposite side. the woman writes. It was dark, but we could see the massive wings, and they expanded and and they were much larger than our SUV. The wings were spread out. We slowed down the car and we stopped. They described it as an owlman, or being roughly humanoid in shape and around 4 to 5 feet tall. This was no bird, they said. It was huge. When I shone my lights on it, it shot up so fast into the tall trees, it disappeared into the night. Very keen on trying to find out what they had witnessed, they turned the car around and went back to the same spot, but there was no further sign of the creature until when they started up the car and drove down the road. And again, this owl like creature came down and landed on top of their car and apparently tried to scratch into the top of their car, almost as it tried to lift it from the ground. In fear, they slammed on the brakes. This creature fell off and sped back up into the night, flying away. Was this the fabled Owlman, or could this been more of a conventional? Is there more of a conventional explanation for this? And again, here's a little rendition of this.
So,
and that's a rendition. That's probably what they told the guy to put in there. So I don't know.
right.
So Tex, you were the first to utter a word. So what?
Well, I wish they would have said how it took off and how it landed. Was it flapping its wings? Because what was seen in LBL just took off.
It swooped. They said how the one at the LBL, they said that it went down and like swooped around and then took off. Like they did a whole dramatic thing with it, didn't they, Brandi?
Yeah, it was kind of like a twist and went up. There was no flapping of the wings. It was just kind of twisted and went up. It wasn't, getting going like a bird. And I'm looking really cute right now. Yeah, I mean, that is one aspect of the story. Did they describe what the wings look like, or they just explain the span of the wings? Did they say that they were feathered, or did they say were they bat-like? What did they say?
Just the span of the wing. What I read is what you got. Now, I will say this. I'm very interested because this is in an episode on Netflix, and I kind of looked up on my phone. I didn't watch this. I didn't bother to look at the video, but this actual video is on Netflix. If anybody subscribes, it's under the new Unsolved Mysteries, and so it is in there. It's in there for people to view it. I have yet to view it.
Interesting. So the one at the LBL too also did not have feathers. They said it had bat-like wings.
Okay.
I've never heard of the Owlman. I mean, is there all sorts of frog man, goat man,
Owl squatch? It's owl squatch.
Owl squatch. You've heard that before?
Bat squatch.
Bat squatch. Yeah.
Yeah. And has anyone heard of the lechuza?
Yes. That's what I was thinking when he started talking about this.
But those are more female, right? They say it's more of a woman owl type thing, or are they
be female? This again, it didn't say man.
Well, they said Owlman.
Yeah, but see, here's my thing. They just call it Owlman just because it's
they don't know.
Everything's
how do you know
it's
a male?
Yeah, everything is a man. Dog man, owl man, goat man.
No, but I think Tex is right. We're missing some key explanation is what I'm trying to look for. We need more of a description to determine what we would think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was hesitant not to read that, but the only reason I did and I wasn't, well, Brandi said, Mothman. I'll do the Owlman thing. But it is on Netflix, so if you're interested, check it out. And they'll probably be more detailed. They're like 20-minute little segments, short stories. So
yeah, maybe I need to listen to that one to see, if they give any more information on it. Because I would like,
Captain Kirk does a good job narrating those.
right.
Mhm.
Because I mean, if we're talking like bat-like wings, well, that's going to send us one way, and if it says it has feathers, that's going to send us another.
Yep.
So I don't know.
The
So
one
when they
thing
say, excuse me, Rob, I was gonna say, so when they say leathery or like bat, it's like they're leathery, not feathered, right? So
Not feathered, more like a bat. Yeah, more like a bat.
The
And
only
like I
thing
said, and if it says feathers, well, then we've got other choices.
Yes. The only thing that I found remotely interesting about that, to be honest with you, was the fact that they mentioned Illinois. And when Brandi talked about the Mothman, there's a lot of sightings of the Mothman actually in Illinois.
Well, they have sightings
Sure.
of Thunderbirds in Illinois also.
Mhm.
So
Could go either
I mean,
way.
that could send us a different direction altogether.
Yep.
Yep.
So, Mr. Dwarf, what interesting's happened with you last several months? Anything interesting you want to share with us?
well, I was on with Tex, and when was it? With you recently as well. But with
Krista,
You're
Tex,
on our show.
Yeah, you're
yeah,
on.
but I
You're on
missed the
blonde.
ladies. The ladies
Yeah.
weren't there that night,
Yeah.
so that was
No.
a bummer. But
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm glad we're on tonight. But yeah, we over at
Absolutely.
with Tex, we featured some recent thermal footage that we got
Yeah.
from out of the Angeles National Forest here, and that's the local mountains, just like 20 minutes away from the city. I always mention that we forget that we have mountain ranges right here, and some of that area did burn in one of the fires. And so we were up there before the fires because I heard about a Bigfoot report out of 1995, and I wanted to get my nephews. My nephews had never gone camping, and my brother and I, get the boys out. And so we decided to go up there to that particular sighting area, and there's a campground there. So we spent the night there, and it was interesting. So we got footage of all that, of the investigation that we did. We did an overnight thing, and my nephews were using my gadgets, the night vision and thermals. And one of my nephews kept getting thermal hits. He kept mentioning he was getting hits, and so we're like, all right, just record. But when we got back to home the next day, I was going through the thermal footage and found a particular clip where it looks like this humanoid subject is at the base of this tree, and my nephew's like pointing at it and recording and trying to get a good zoom on it. And this thing looks like it ducks, and there's movement there. It looks humanoid, not huge. And so yeah, we've been sharing that footage out and getting people's opinions and everything, and talked about it and showed it with Tex. And yeah, some people have mentioned it looks like someone getting in a sleeping bag, and but we don't believe it is. We got our reasons, and we did a follow-up trying to pinpoint the actual location, and couldn't figure that out quite yet. But we're going to continue going and see if anything else happens. So that's the latest stuff that's been going on, and
Very cool.
yeah, real interesting. And we've been touching on the area also. I've been doing some live streams talking about
Mhm.
the history of the area. There's a lot of high strangeness in these mountains,
Mhm.
just like in a lot of other places. So yeah, just following through with that. And as
I
far as
watch some of your stuff actually. Like you come on super late at night here
yeah,
because like I'll
between,
wake up and you're live and I'll put you on my TV. So
I
like
I
I
appreciate that.
can't chat from my TV, but
Yeah,
yeah, so I see your stuff through there.
yeah, no
Mhm.
problem. Just getting used to all this, getting
Yeah.
the feel for live streaming and
Mhm.
just sharing a lot of my experiences. I feel like I got a
Yeah,
lot to share, and I've tried through the
you
videos,
do.
but
Mhm.
yeah, just getting more vocal and hanging out with
Yep.
folks like y'all, which is great.
Yep.
And as far as the activity out of the shop, we had stuff going on out there in the skies and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of that has really calmed down as of late. So wondering what's up. But yeah, that's what's going on
Mhm.
over in
Cool.
my world here.
You need to get a drone,
A professional one.
especially where you live. You need a drone, okay, with thermal. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$10,000. I'm saving
Yeah,
up.
Easy.
I got
10
that right
grand.
here. I'm just
After
saying.
after Brandi and I crashed hers in 20 minutes in
Yeah.
September.
I'm not gonna cry about that one though.
Yeah. You mentioned something interesting though, really quickly. haven't seen them in a while. Do you think that it doesn't have to be UFO or cryptid? Do you think a lot of these sightings are just in a cyclical form? I mean, because a lot of times you get a whole bunch of encounters at once or sightings of anything, and it goes dormant for several months, and it picks up again. And I'm not a big subscriber to the migration theory with cryptids, really. I think they just make themselves known, but it could be different with UFOs. Like you'll go through the summertime, we always seem to have more encounters with UFOs in the summertime, it seems. Is that your experience living where you live?
Well, yeah, it seems like it seemed like there was a huge rash all of like last year. It was almost like daily occurrences outside of the shop.
They make a cream for that.
Oh yeah. And it just all of a sudden it's just kind of really calmed down. So yeah, I think it does happen in intervals, it seems like. And even with the Bigfoot stuff, when I was up north, it would seem like maybe certain seasons, it seemed like the more activity would pick up and stuff like that. And it could be that maybe during those seasons I had more time to get out also. But as far as like on the property, maybe certain seasons and had certain vibes, harvest, spring.
Yeah, I don't know. I just brought that up because you mentioned that. I thought maybe, perhaps there's a cycle to everything because it just seems like some periods are up and some are down across the board. So, with that being said, has anybody got anything to share across the board? Now, Brown Dwarf, this is kind of a different show. It's like an interview style show. So now you kind of experience what we do Saturday nights here. Thanks for coming on, man. Where can people find you?
Appreciate the invite again. I'm honored, and hopefully we could do this more. You could. That's why I switched the name to Bigfoot Dwarf to make it easier, because Brown Dwarf would usually pull up a bunch of the celestial object or the little entity. So with Bigfoot Dwarf, if you look that up, it should my channel should pop up. So
I still have your phone number in my phone as Brown Dwarf.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's what mine does.
I'm still Brown Dwarf. It's just a AKA. A lot of us have multiple names and stuff. So yeah, I just thought I'd switch it up a little bit. And yes, we're still there, active, and hopefully soon maybe y'all could come over and hang out on my channel too.
Yeah,
really.
On an invite. What are you talking about? I haven't got an invite.
All right, I'm gonna be sending invites out. I'm getting it together. I want to make sure I don't have too many kinks to work out, so I'm getting it. It's working out here. I'm feeling pretty
California. I'm sure you got a lot of kinks.
Tex, keep them coming, bro.
Yeah,
he's digging them off there. Oh my goodness. But other than that, Blondes and Booze doesn't have anything going on right now except for what Krista's doing tonight, which I can't wait to see the video.
Yeah, Krista, I bet you're going to be busting out and you're going to be going back out and investigating a little more, checking shit out.
I'm going to go get warmed up because I had actually walked in the room to warm up, but it was just full of people. So I'm going to go get warmed up, but then I am going back outside.
Cool.
Outside's where it's at, I'm telling you.
There you go.
I guarantee you, Brandi, if you were here, you'd be outside too.
Yeah, I'd be freezing, but I'd be out there though. I'd be outside.
Yeah, I really want to get up there with y'all.
Yeah, most definitely. It was enough that we started packing out there.
Whoa, nice.
I don't go anywhere in the woods without it, so there you are. Don't leave home without it.
Well, it's that human element that would scare me the most.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is kind of remote out there. I do have to say, it's all by itself out there. There's a lot of ground out, to cover, and there could be things hiding, you just don't know.
Yeah. T-Bone, yes, I'll have some of them up tomorrow. Some of the videos. Yep.
Members only, y'all. So get your memberships.
Did members only. Be fair. Yeah.
And speaking of that, I've got to thank Mr. T-Bone, of course, who gifted 5 new pirate members. Our mateys.
Thank you, T-Bone. T-Bone's the best.
Yes, he
the
is.
best. I love T-Bone. And also Keith
We
from
all love
Michigan.
T-Bone.
Keith with a nice super chat. Thank you also to Keith. Before everyone leaves, hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to bigfootmichiganrob if you're new on YouTube. The Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast on YouTube. Of course, Texas Front Porch and Bigfoot Dwarf. Now, is that the name of the channel now? It's Bigfoot Dwarf, right?
Yeah. But the handle actually, we have the handle it's at Brown Dwarf 4200 still. So I'm telling you, we're still BD. We're still Brown Dwarf.
There you go.
It's whatever you choose.
Whatever
Right.
you choose. I've been calling you Brown Dwarf, and I'm gonna have to. It's gonna take me a lot of. I'm gonna have to start saying it over and over and over my mind,
Right.
30 times in a row.
You call me whatever comes out your mouth, Rob. No worries.
I can't say that on live TV, man.
Don't tell him that. He'll be calling you the same things he calls me.
You know?
Oh yeah, you didn't hear it before you jumped on, Tex.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm glad.
I've heard it all before.
He was moonlighting over there with Brent Thomas, and then they popped out in. Thanks, Tex.
Actually, I was not. I was being interviewed.
Oh,
by somebody.
Oh,
somebody.
Cryptid Wilderness Research.
Oh, all right.
Oh, yes, that's the young man out there in Alaska.
Yes. So yeah, they're going to post that interview, I think next Friday. But y'all go and show them some love. Tell them Tex.
Yeah, do that.
I don't Misfit Toys sent you.
Yeah. Of course, I was on that show 3 months ago. You guys can check me out over there too.
Cool.
Oh, and by the way, I'm on Sasquatch Theories coming up. They'll be releasing my interview with Miguel coming up soon too.
Yeah,
you're saying, yeah,
and
yeah.
You might be on some STM coming up here, Rob. I heard.
I am, yeah. April 8th,
Hey.
I'm going to do film a little. I have a little role in a documentary with.
There you
Small
go.
Town Monsters. Yeah.
Everybody doing big things. Y'all doing some big things. Got the conference coming up. And speaking of Brent Thomas, really quick, I don't know if you saw. You might have seen my comment the other day. Tex and Rob were on, I think, with Brent. I don't know if the ladies were there, but Stephen Greer came up for some reason, and I said, I made a comment. I was like, I want to see Brent Thomas arm wrestle Stephen Greer.
Oh,
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Greer got guns, y'all. Watch out.
yeah. He kind of
can't hang out with us, but she can hang out on the TV. I see.
Did you hear what Dan said, Brandi?
No.
He said that you can't hang out with us, but you can hang out on the TV.
Oh.
I know.
I
know, but I'm there. I'm there. I'm there.
I told you what she's missed tonight. She's missed a lot.
I do, but I do have one final thought.
Yes, of course.
If you become a member with BMR, Blondes and Booze, and Texas Front Porch, you too can be a paranormal porch pirate.
There you go.
Hey.
A paranormal.
Arg.
Fabulous show, everybody. Thanks to Brown Dwarf. Thanks to Krista. Tex. With that being said, check us out. Turn on the alert bells. We're on almost 7 days a week. Love y'all. And until next time, we are out.
See y'all. Night.
Night.
This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.